welcome to another exciting episode of the Brooklyn Knitfolk podcast. This is episode 6. My name is Jaclyn. I live in Brooklyn, New York City with my roommate and my 2 cats. This is one of them in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, I already said that. So I'm a graphic designer and craftress extraordinaire. All right, fine. Bye, Mika. Craftress extraordinaire. And this is an episode about what my DIY adventures get up to, and yeah. It's a really weird intro. I am the worst at filming introductions. I don't know what it is, but I digress. Alright, so here we go. Sorry. I'm being really awkward today. I don't know why. Part of it is because this is also not my usual setup. I'm not filming with my normal camera right now because I don't have access to it. So I'm using my phone. If the quality is not as great, I apologize. Hopefully the normal camera will be back to its usual schedule after this episode. Show notes for the podcast can be found in the down bar below. I don't have a Ravelry group right now because I don't see a use for it at the time. And I just also want to say thank you so much to everybody who has gotten in touch with me or sent me messages. You guys mean the world to me. I love this community. As far as last episode goes, there was a giveaway for Circus Tonic handmade yarns. These 2 skeins right here. This one's House Crow and this one is Spangled Durango. Gorgeous, lovely. I announced the winners already on Instagram and I've gotten in touch with them, so I will be sending these out this week. The prompt for the giveaway, not required, but I put a little prompt in for fun, was to ask people a time that you've experienced someone paying it forward to you or you paying it forward to somebody else. And in retrospect, I really regret putting that as the prompt because it was a giveaway thread. I didn't want to keep responding and adding myself to the random number generator whenever I generated a winner. So it was difficult for me to not be able to respond to all these really wonderful and kind things that you guys have been experiencing and doing for other people. So next time, I guess that is the point of having a Ravelry group, but for now, still holding out until I think it's like really necessary. So let's jump right into some finished objects. These are very recent finished objects within the past 2 days. I've been watching a few podcasts and seeing some washcloths being made, so I thought I would try out a few because I've heard that there's just nothing like using a hand knit washcloth, so I made a few. This is the first one. It's the Leafy Dishcloth pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will put everything in the show notes, like I said. And it's made out of the Sugar and Cream cotton and linen blend. I'm sure that you guys have seen these around Michael's. They're super cheap, like $2 per skein. Let me show you the yarn. This is what it looks like. The Lily Sugar and Cream. Yeah. So I got 4 different colors. This is the lilac color. Again, the Leafy Washcloth, as it's called. Here's the other one. This one is in the Sonoma print colorway. And it's all a garter stitch leaf. And I kind of like, it's on the picture of it, it lays flat. Mine do not. I think I was maybe pulling it too tightly on the edges or something. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm not bothered by that because I kind of like how it creates this little bowl for me to like put the soap in and hold it like while I'm using it. So that's that one. Sonoma print. And then this one is called, let me look it up, just make sure I'm saying this properly. Chinese Waves Dishcloth, which I'll just use as a washcloth. Yeah, that's the front. Isn't that pretty? I will say all of these were knit on a size 7 needle. The cotton and linen, as I'm sure most of you know, is not like animal fiber, and that it's not animal fiber, it's cotton and linen. So it does not stretch or have any give at all while you're knitting with it, which is really hard on my hands. I was like my hands were getting a workout trying to make these. I like the finished product, but it was kind of stressful. So I don't think I can make like tons of them in a row anymore like I have been with these. It might just be like a good way to test out a new stitch pattern, or just like throw these in between, you know, FOs and other works in progress. So I think it's just a good way to, Mika, stop eating. Cats, I tell ya. It's just a good way to test, anyway, I've already said this, test out new stitch patterns, and kind of just like get like a quick little finished object in between works in progress, especially long ones like I'm working on right now, like the Deschutes Sweater, which is coming along, as you'll see in the next segment. So the next finished object, which is technically also a work in progress, is the Cozy Memories blanket. I told you guys last week that instead of doing the traditional square by square Cozy Memories blanket, I wanted to try a log cabin style construction. And a log cabin style quilt construction looks like this. Isn't this lovely? I am so excited about how it turned out. So excited that I decided I was gonna write up a quick little pattern recipe for making it for yourself if you want to do it too. I am not the originator of a log cabin style blanket. I'm sure you've probably seen these in other various forms. This is just my recipe and how I make mine. So that is the free pattern on Ravelry now that you can look it up. It's called the, I think I named it the Brooklyn Knitfolk Log Cabin Scrap Blanket or something like that. It'll be in the links below. But yeah, it starts off with a square in the middle. This is a mitered square that you can find in other recipes. You don't have to, the instructions in mine are just like a garter square for this one, but you can choose whatever square you want to use in the center. And then this is the second one that you add on, and then kind of just like work it in the side, picking up stitches along the way. You bind off on the last row, you bind off every stitch except the last one, and then start picking up along the edge. So once you bind off this, then you'll pick up along the edge of here, and then along the top, knit, 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 bind off here until the last stitch, and then pick up along the edge, and so on. And you can make these as big or as small as you like. I think this is as big as I'm going to make mine. The good thing about doing this log cabin style construction is that, well, there are several advantages, but one of my favorite things is that you can group your yarns better based on the project that you knit with it. So say you knit a shawl using 3 colors, you can use them kind of all together in the same log cabin square. You can group things by gift, for example. So if another person gifts you a lot of their minis and you want to keep, you know, a Katrina from the Cat's Kettles, like log cabin square. So I could put like all of her yarns together in the same one, or you can group by color. So if you want to do all of your greens in one, or all of your, you know, reds in another, you know, it's just so the month. So you can do it like your January log cabin square. So all of the yarns you use for the month of January in a particular year. So that's my favorite thing about doing the log cabin style construction. The other thing that I really like is that sometimes you use almost all of the yarn in a project, so you really only have a little bit left and not enough to knit an entire square in a Cozy Memories blanket. But this gives you a lot of flexibility with the amounts of yarns that you have, because this one, for example, is by far the smallest square in the log cabin style construction. So you can kind of plan out for your smaller leftovers to use it in the smallest one, and then your larger leftovers, say in like the larger outside squares. So log cabin style Cozy Memories blanket, loving it so far. It's a joy to knit. It's so quick to just like get a square done on the blanket. But like I said last time, it's also incredibly addictive because you feel so accomplished even after just finishing the one that you just want to keep going until you finish another one. I think what I'm going to do is buy a lot of a neutral color and knit a border on every single one so that it kind of creates this rest in between the log cabin squares. But you could easily just go ahead and mattress stitch, you know, every square together. No one says, you know, that you have to do it any particular way. And the other good thing too is that you can kind of use different yarn weights within the same log cabin square. So this is DK. I have started another one where I'm using worsted weight in the center square. The center square is kind of the best place to use your heavier weight yarns, but this is a lace weight. Fingering weights mostly for the other ones, but yeah, so it's another opportunity to use all of the yarns you use in all of your projects, not just a particular weight of yarn like sock yarn, because a square is going to show that more because squares are a perfect structure. They're the same, have to be the same on all four sides, so it's a little trickier to make them match if you use different kinds of yarn, unlike in the log cabin where you can kind of make it as tall as you want and knit as many rows as you want just kind of by eyeballing it and looking at it. So there's less stress for perfection, which may be a nightmare for some people who like to have exact amount of stitches. And in my little pattern recipe, I do put, you know, the exact amount of stitches on there, but you can also just kind of look and adjust along the way based on how much scrap you have left over. So those are just a few of the advantages. Yeah, I'm really loving how it turned out. On that note, I have not knit that many projects yet, and I do not have very many minis. So if you have extra lying around that you've already used in your blanket, or you just have some that you're willing to give away, it's hard for me to do any kind of trades right now because, like I said, I don't really have enough to trade from enough projects that I worked on because I'm pretty new to knitting. So if you do have some that you could send me, I would love that. Please PM me on Ravelry and I can give you my address because I'm so addicted to this, but I can't really make that much on it because I don't have enough minis really to keep going. So if you have some extras and you're willing to part with them, or you've already used it in your own blanket, let me know. I will be happy to take them off of your hands. Let me see, there's also, well, it's not really worth showing. Well, okay, yes it is. One second, let me grab it. Okay, woo, and we're back. So this is the next square that I've started for the center square. And this one I'm just doing a garter. I'm not doing the mitered square in the center. Just do what you feel, do what you want. And I'm using the leftover optic from Madeline Tosh I used for my hat forever ago. So that's just starting the next log cabin square. So works in progress. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this. Very exciting. I have a back of a sweater, and it's all folded. I haven't blocked this yet or woven in the ends, but I'll do that probably sometime this week. This is the Deschutes Sweater by Norah Gaughan. It's knit out of Cascade 220 in the Heathers, yeah, Walnut Heathers colorway. Cascade 220 is a wonderful yarn for the price. It's very economical. But I guess, I don't know if it's the way I tension the yarn in my fingers when it's running through. I'll show you. It has like these, I'm not sure if that's going to come up on this camera or not because it doesn't focus too quickly on it, but it has these like little fuzzies on it. And whenever I'm knitting with it, it almost feels like there are hairs like on it, and sometimes there are. And at first I thought it was my own hair, but after using, you know, another skein, it's the same, and I'm not shedding that much. So it's just kind of annoying to keep feeling like I have hairs in my hands. I don't know. I hope that's not a flaw with all Cascade 220 because that'd be a shame, but just something to know. I'm knitting it on my Addi turbos. I'm knitting it on Chiaogoos, my first set of Chiaogoos in a size 8. There's the ribbing there. And I did go down a few needle sizes and also a weight of yarn. The pattern calls for Aran weight. This is knit in worsted weight, and to make up for that in the pattern schematic, I'm knitting the largest size. So looking at it, I'm pretty sure this is not really showing you anything, but looking at it and based on other garments I've made in the past, I'm pretty sure it's gonna fit. I know it will fit. I'm just hoping that it will fit in the way I want it to, because I want it to kind of be like a looser a looser sweater. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm loving the pattern. So mindless to knit. I don't even need the pattern to make it. I just, you know, keep going. I can see exactly where I am. It's very intuitive to make. Deschutes pattern, Norah Gaughan, back of a sweater. Yes. And I cast on and have started, almost finished with the ribbing for the front piece. I figured while I still have motivation and haven't lost steam on it, that I will go ahead and knit the front, the other really large part, so that I just like don't get tired of it and put it away. Not that that's really in jeopardy, but just while I'm still interested, and I'm going to go ahead and get the whole front part done, and then after that I will make the sleeves. I think my camera's tilted. Let me fix that a second. I'm using binder clips to hold up my phone, y'all. This little, it's something. Whatever, sorry. Again, if the quality is bad, I apologize. So again, Deschutes Sweater, Norah Gaughan, Cascade 220. Loving the color. It's gonna be perfect in my wardrobe. It's great. The next work in progress, I started my Voyage Shawl by Melanie Berg. And this is what I've got so far. I was doubly this far. And then I had to rip it out because I realized that I was off, and I was only like maybe a couple pattern repeats more into it. So I figured I'd just start over rather than trying to tink and rip that. It is a paid for pattern on Ravelry by Melanie Berg. The pattern calls to use Woolfolk yarn, and when I was searching for something that wasn't as expensive as Woolfolk yarn is, I just couldn't get it out of my head. It had to be this, so I got it, and it's amazing. Effing amazing, you guys. It's so soft. So soft. 100% merino. It has a gorgeous halo to it. It's knit on size 7 Addi Turbo lace needles, which are my absolute favorite needles. I bought the Chiaogoos, wanting to test them out because I heard a lot of good things about them. I love the tips on the Chiaogoos. Show you these. This is the tip of the Chiaogoos, which is great. It's got a long, slender tip. This is the tip on the Addi lace. I like the Addis better because the Chiaogoos, for whatever reason, it's not a drag. That is really extreme. It's not that. But it's just not as smooth as the Addi Turbos, in my opinion. And I love the tips on these too. These are my favorites, hands down. So I think from now on, I think I've tried enough to experiment with. I'm going to get the Addi Turbos from now on. This or Hiyas, because I really like the Hiyas as well. So anyway, back to the shawl. Melanie Berg, Voyage Shawl. It is so soft. Going back and forth between working on this and then working on the Cascade 220 sweater, this is cloud, and this made this feel like scratchy tree bark. And that's not at all the case about the Cascade 220, but that's just how soft this is. It is, oh, I just want to put my face in it. I am putting my face in it, because I'm creepy. You guys do that. It's not creepy. Whatever. Anyway, there it is. It's not as potato chippy as I thought it was going to be. There are 8 rows in the pattern repeats, and you just repeat those same rows, but it is some counting, which is why I'm probably not as far along as I would have been if it was like not referencing the pattern every time. But I think it's one of those things that will get more intuitive as I go along, because I can see where I am when it's time to do right twists, left twists, etc. I just love it. I cannot wait to have this as a finished object. It's going to be so warm. I do wish, I think I have a picture of the pattern. Find the best one. Okay. I hope that's not blowing out. Okay. I do wish, it's almost scarf-like. Almost. It's called a Voyage Shawl, but it's almost scarf-like in its width. It's like pretty consistent in, I mean, sort of, in its width along the way. I do wish that it was a little bit deeper and not as long, but the pattern of it is so gorgeous that it's fine. It's gonna be okay. I'm still gonna wrap myself up in it. It's still gonna be beautiful. I just prefer a deeper construction than this long scarf-like one, but it's okay. Not hating, Melanie Berg, not hating. Anyway. Oh man, that's so soft. I know I'm just like waxing poetic about this yarn, but it is a cloud. Go feel it. Woolfolk Får base, it's their worsted weight, and they don't name their colorways. This is just colorway number 2. It's like a gray with a tinge of a purple hint to it, but if you were just looking at it, you would not think purple. Like, it looks gray. Yeah, amazing. Voyage Shawl, definitely want to give this more attention. I've just been like going between all my project babies, and the Deschutes Sweater is what got the attention this week. So that's the next work in progress. The next one I have, it's been a while since you've seen this, and it's because I haven't been working on it, but I'm showing it to you because if you guys have watched, all right, hey there, buddy. If you've watched Junk Yarn's, Kemper's latest podcast, Junk Yarn, in February she is doing a Finish It in February cal. Perfect timing because I just need a little bit of a push to work on this. I want the finished object so badly, and I love the yarn. It's Voolenvine's Gashlycrumb. I just want the finished object so badly, but it is so much counting, and it just like makes it not fun to work on for me because it's something different every row. It's called the Syrah Michelle. I'm not going to try to pronounce her name because it's French, and I'm not Isabel from Fluffy Fibers. But it's this raining stars pattern. Kind of flows into these raining stars. It's beautiful. Like I said, it's just the counting that's getting me off. I want the finished object, so for Finish It February, for the Finish It in February knit along, I'm going to use this as my Finish It in February. I may not actually finish it in February, but I'm going to work actively to get this done. And then Jenny is going to be doing a craft for 20, so I'm thinking that I will devote part of my craft for 20 into 20 minutes a day of knitting on this shawl, and then once my sister finds out, my sister is pregnant, by the way, she recently found out, and she finds out if it's a boy or a girl in mid-February. Once she finds out if it's a boy or a girl, then I'm also going to use that time to start crafting for 20 things that I can make for the baby, because let's be honest, I'm going to be the boss ass aunt, because that's me. This is the cake of Gashlycrumb. Absolutely beautiful, as you would expect with Kristen's yarn. So, I'm gonna finish it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be beautiful. Yesterday, my friend Tracy, who I knit the moss green facets hat for, she received it in the mail, and she sent me this really nice text message about how she could feel her chest cavity expanding from the size of her heart and that she may have teared up just a little bit. That girl is knit worthy all the way. I'm so glad that she loves the hat. She's taken a million pictures in it. She's wearing it all the time, so that made me feel really good. Those are all of my works in progress. I just want to continue on the Deschutes Sweater, get that done. I want to continue on all of it, really, obviously, but that's what I've been working on. Other than that, I don't really have anything else in particular to talk to you about. There are a couple of things, not a couple, let's just say a lot of ideas flowing into my head right now, and I wish I could take off work for a month and just do nothing but work on all of these ideas in my head. I won't talk about it right now until I have more concrete decisions and formulated ideas about what exactly I want to do, but just know that it is combining my illustration and graphic design skills with the fibery woolly community. So meshing these two things together has been something I've been thinking about since the inception of Brooklyn Knitfolk, and I think I've finally stumbled upon something that can use these two skills together, so I'm really excited about that. Another thing I wanted to tell you guys about is that I frequently, a lot of the compliments I receive on my knitted items are usually in reference to my color choices in some way. So I get some questions from people about whether this color will look really good with this color and what I think about that. And I love those questions, by the way, so feel free to, you know, ask if you need some help. But in light of that, I've been thinking about, and I know I'm going to make a video, just a separate little video about how to pick out colors. And it's not going to be like, only use this color and this color is bad, because that's not at all what I'm saying. If you love pink, pink is great. It's a great color. But my video, I think I want to focus it on like how to pick out what types of pinks to use with other types of colors. So how to use this color that I really love, what's going to look best with that color. Because there are color theory tricks and tips that I can teach you in order to know what's going to look best with your project. So I want to make a video about that, share some design knowledge, and hopefully, you know, give you guys some tricks into making your projects look even better. Sorry, I'm not trying to undress myself on camera. This shirt is just loose. So yeah, I want to film the color theory video. I have tons of other ideas in my head. Other than that, I've been watching an insane amount of The Great British Baking Show, which if you haven't seen it before, it's on Netflix. My friend Cailliau got me into it, and it's amazing. It is so, the only word that I can use to properly describe it is delightful, because it is so British. It's just, it's delightful. You should watch it. It's called The Great British Baking Show. It's on Netflix. Get on it. It's amazing. And yeah, one other thing too. I've been really fighting the quilt bug right now, and I'm trying to hold out because I know my sister is gonna be having this baby, so I want to make one for the baby. But so I want to make one for the baby, but in my head, I just also know the next one I'm going to make for myself is a neutrals quilt. I want to make all of the pieces in different fabrics, but in the same neutral, like all cream colors, but different kinds of cream prints, if that makes sense. So I haven't decided if cream is necessarily the one I want to do, but I think in my head that's what's going to look really neat, like creams and blushes maybe. So I want to make a whole quilt out of the same color but different fabrics of the same color. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Relatively short episode. Just wanted to check in and show you guys what I've been working on. Winter is in full swing in New York City, so I've been getting some good use out of my knitted objects. We did have the blizzard. I'm fine. There was a lot of snow, and to be real, I actually hate snow, so I'm just kind of over it and ready for spring to be here already, and that's still a ways away, so got a little bit to go, but so it goes. Thank you also to anybody who has given me a shout out on their podcast recently. I really appreciate your support, and it's always just like, oh, my heart just like beats so fast, and I get so excited when I hear it. So I have a whole list of people that I need to let me cut this part out. So thank you so much for watching this. If you like Brooklyn Knitfolk, you can subscribe below. There's like a red button that will say subscribe, so it will always notify you when there is a new episode available if you wish to do that. And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as @Jaclyn. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great 2 weeks until I see you next. And until then, happy crafting, happy making. Bye!